Hey guys, how's it going? Robert Warshak here, and we've got some more cards to cover, more specifically the Shaman, Warlock Warrior, and then some neutrals. Keep in mind, we still haven't covered all the cards. This is the last review we did today, and we're at 73 of the 135, so as of now, we've caught up. So hopefully when this video comes out, which should be tomorrow, which will be your today, which will be right now, we'll have all caught up, and it'll be good from here on out. I'll try to stay as updated as I can. So a Muck Morpher, 5 mana, 4/4 battle cry, transform it into a 4/4 copy of a different minion in your deck. So obviously could be high rolly, could not work out card, you know, if it hits a good death rattle, or if it hits like a very powerful, you know, end of the turn effect like Ragnaros, Ysera, and things of that nature. It could be pretty good. But the problem is it's only going to summon like it as a 4/4. So, you know, it's very risky, you know what I mean? Because like 5 mana 4/4 isn't terrible, but you want it to have like a pretty good effect, and it's not a guarantee it's going to land on a card with an effect. And if you're running a deck that plays this, you obviously play 2 Muck Morphers, so you could hit the other Muck Morpher. But anyway, I don't think this is that great of a card. I mean, it's a cool card, you know, the effect's pretty unique, but I don't necessarily think it's that fantastic. We may see it in some sort of like maybe big Shaman, but even that doesn't make sense because again, it stays a 4/4. So, you know, transforming maybe into like a walking fountain, you know, Lifesteal Rush, Wind Fury. I mean, that just doesn't seem that bad. But then you have to play, you know, multiple of these guys. You can't play any little minions. I mean, there's just a lot of can and can'ts when you do play a card like this. So, not really a fan of it. Doesn't really fit in anything I see. Doesn't look overwhelmingly powerful. This guy, however, looks pretty powerful. 8 mana, 4/8 elemental, Lifesteal, Rush, Wind Fury. So it has lots of tags on them: the Lifesteal, the Rush, the Wind Fury. So basically, when you play this, most of the time you're healing for 8, as long as you're not attacking into another minion that has either more than 8 attack, or, you know, just making sure you have minions to attack into anyway. I mean, this just seems like a pretty big, solid elemental. Not gonna lie, this is just a big, beefy, thick, you know, healing, rushing, attack twicing, giant stone lion-looking monster. Good stuff. I mean, the only thing that would have made this card like the only thing this card is missing is the overload tag, and then it's like encapsulating what the Shaman is. Just big, thick minions, lots of shit thrown onto the card. I mean, it's like Alakir 2.0, but it's not Alakir. Stat wise though, like pretty thick. So not bad. This is not a bad card. It's a great arena card. Great arena card. I don't know if it'll see play in Shaman, like, you know, like a control Shaman, but it's not a bad card to like randomly generate for an elemental. Sludge Slurper, 1 mana, 2/1 Murloc, add a Lackey to your hand, overload 1. Well, I like the fact that it's a Murloc. Picture's really cool. I like the picture a lot, but I can't really argue with a 1 mana 2/1 that like adds a Lackey to your hand. It's hard to argue with that. It's not bad. It's really not bad. And when I say a card isn't bad, I'm not saying it's going to be a tier 1 deck or tier 2 deck. It's just the card in itself can be played, and when you play the card, it doesn't feel like shit. Like, there's some cards in this game where you play them and you just really wish you just want to take them and you don't even want to play them. You just want to remove them from your deck or never even have them in your collection. You know what cards I'm talking about. Not Paddle. Chogo. What? Maybe say something? Anyway, Swamp Queen, we already went over her. Hag of the Scheme, we already went over here. Wow, that's really, they've only done 3 more Shaman cards. It's not a lot. I know Warlock, they've done quite a bit. Oh, yeah. All right, so this one was released, I think today or yesterday. This one's pretty soon, pretty recent. A 6 mana, 4/6 demon taunt. When you draw this, restore 4 health to your hero. As we know, Warlock is a class that drastically, or it doesn't drastically, but it always is looking for some sort of healing mechanic, because as we know, it's hero power, life tap, and there's quite a few other cards that deal damage to itself, like Hellfire. It's also losing some of its heal in the upcoming rotation. So, not like, this isn't like an overwhelmingly powerful demon, but it's not terrible. I don't like, and it also tells your opponent that you drew this. You know what I mean? So like when you draw this, your opponent knows what you drew. which is good information for them. The heal for 4 is okay. So what do we value a heal for 4 as? Less than 1 mana, because the druid has a heal for 5 for 1 mana. So basically healing, like, The only thing that makes me like this card is the fact that it has taunt and it has 4 attack. 4 attack is good against priest. It's a demon. I guess a demon, we missed out on that. It's a demon, has 4 attack, and has taunt. So it's okay. Card is under the okay. Plot twist: shuffle your hand into your deck and draw that many cards. That's just really good. I think that's pretty solid. Because if your hand, this is basically just being able to have another mulligan, or you look for answers. This is not a bad card. This is maybe a one of. This is definitely maybe a one of in maybe a control deck. Because it just lets you find answers. If you're playing an aggro deck, you get a mulligan, and then if you don't find anything good, you can mulligan again and try to look for something. Solid card. I mean, I like this. I was thinking this would be more of maybe a priest card, to be honest. But oops, I already clicked on it. Eager Underling, 4 mana, 2/2 death rattle, give a friendly minions +2/2. So this is basically just the nutted Fungalmancer. This is Fungalmancer's little brother that never saw play. This card is not good. I guess it's good if you're playing what is it? The Grim Rally. So you play this on turn yeah, this and Grim Rally is on turn 5, right? Because if this gets silenced, it's horrible. Cabal Shadow Priested. I mean, this is just this is a not and then they're gonna kill the other minions first. This card is just not good. The only time this is good is if you can kill this card when you bring it out to guarantee it gives the +2/+2, but then you lose the body. So you paid 4 mana to give 2 minions +2/+2, which is basically the same thing as Blessings of Kings for Paladin. So not a fan of this card. This card is it's such a shitty Fungalmancer. Fell Lord, Betrug. This guy looks awesome. All right, hopefully this guy's good, chat. All right, 8 mana, 5 attack, 7 HP, demon. Whenever you draw a minion, summon a copy with rush that dies at the end of the turn. Wow, that's super powerful. So you could play this guy and then you draw her and then you heal for 4 and 1 gets summoned and it has taunt, but it's gonna die. So maybe she's not that good. But if you have this, it dying is good. Think about it, chat. You could play Eager Underling and draw it with the Fell Lord, and then it kills itself to give him +2/+2. The power. Nah, this guy's actually really solid. Oh man, it's so nice. Especially when you use this guy. Let's say you have this guy, and then well, it's no guarantee, right? So you have the new, where is he? This. Replace your hand and deck with legendary minions, so you get this guy, and then of course they're legendary minions, so you get to summon legendary minions. Granted, that's not the best case, I'm sure, but it's a case. But overall, this guy is pretty powerful. I mean, being able to summon a rush demon and then getting its either death rattle or on curve just trading purposes. Granted, it does tell you what you if your opponent drew a minion or a spell, so there is information it gives to your opponent. But overall, this guy looks badass. I'm definitely gonna try that guy out. He's gonna be for some good highlights. Evil Genius, 2 mana, 2/2 battle cry. Sorry for the yawning. I just got back from class. I'm trying my best to keep up on these videos for you guys. I did a lot of work today. We made many thumbnails, many videos, many schoolwork assignments. We are pumping the past couple days, and by couple days I mean specifically today. Battle cry: destroy a friendly minion. Add 2 random lackeys to your hand. A bunch of lackeys. There haven't been a lot of cards with these lackey synergy, generating the lackeys, but where's the payoff? Is the lackeys the payoff? I don't really give a shit about lackeys that much. Are lackeys that good? I mean, they're okay, but what does Warlock have that makes these lackeys so powerful? Other than just you kill 1 minion, you technically get 2, so you could kill an egg. You know what I mean? You could kill any sort of death rattle effect, you could work from it. So it's not terrible. As we know, Warlock does a lot of sacrificing of the minions to either buff their other minions or to draw cards or kill other minions. So an effect like this isn't something new, but normally it's buffing the board or killing something else or healing. It's not necessarily adding 2 1-drops to your hand. So yeah, Not really a fan. And then we've covered the rest. Cool. Warrior. The Caliber. 4 mana, 3/2. After your hero attack, shuffle a bomb into your opponent's deck. I'm pretty sure the bomb says when drawn, your opponent takes 5 damage. Very similar to the Clockwork Golem, where it says battle cry, shuffle a bomb into your opponent's deck, and it explodes for 5 damage. So you basically, the new warrior is going to be Bomber Warrior, is what they're. I'm assuming that's what they're pushing, because the weapon puts bombs in the deck. The other goblin puts bombs into the deck. The next card we're going to cover has to do with bombs as well. So when I look at a card like this, the first thing I think is, how do I make this bigger and thicker to add more bomber boys into my opponent's deck? So first thing I think, well, this is probably one of the first decks I build, but upgrade and Captain Greenskin. That's what I see with this weapon. I want this weapon to live a long time, a long and prosperous life of throwing bombs in my opponent's deck, so when they draw them, they die. So, not bad weapon. I mean, 4 mana is a lot. This is not a control. It's not a gore howl in the sense of like being able to kill a bunch of minions. This is like long term, if this attacks, anywhere between 3 to 4 times, it's going to do 20 damage plus whatever this weapon's attack is if it's attacking face. So, pretty interesting stuff. Blast Master Boom, baby. I like the picture a lot. 7 mana, 7/7. We're used to that stat line. Summon 2 1/1 boom bots for each bomb in your opponent's deck. So 2 bombs is 4 boom bots. So that's basically this turns into this is literally Dr. Boom if you have 1 bomb in your opponent's deck. If you have 2 bombs, it's Boom Master Flark. And if you have 3 bombs, it's insane. This card is so good. This card is so good. So if Bomber Warrior sucks, this will probably still be good. Because I can definitely see people playing the Caliber or the Clockwork Goblin, even if they're not going for like full Bomber Warrior. You could go like little Bomber Warrior, play Blast Master Boom. Like, that's so good. That's so good. All right, what's Dr. Boom's scheme? 4 mana, gain 1 armor, upgrades each turn. Ooh. Ooh. That's bad. It looks good, guys. It looks good on the front end, and I could be very wrong, but this isn't like, think about it. If you're a warrior, right, and you're playing against an aggro deck, do you really want to keep this card in your mulligan turn? Like, no. And if you're playing against a control deck, you don't really want to keep this card in the mulligan either, because you want to be looking for like your other cards to start getting value. You want to like looking for your Calibers, your Goblins, your Dr. Boom. Like, you don't want to, like, this isn't a card you keep in your opening hand. You're like, wow, I'm satisfied. So, and it's a really bad top deck. Like, this is bad. Like, I granted, like, but you could get up 20 armor. It's like, no, you gotta have this in your hand for 20 turns. 20 turns. You know how many turns this dead ass card has to sit in your hand for? So some people thought this, I bet you somebody thought this card is gonna be great. This card looks like ass to me. Oh, this is so sad. I was really hoping like all of the warrior stuff would be really good, especially the scheme, because all the other schemes look pretty good. Especially Hagatha's scheme. Hagatha's scheme is pretty nice. The Imp one is kind of questionable. This is probably the lamest out of all of them. And then the Clockwork Goblin, kind of went over him a little bit. 3 mana, 3/3, Battlecry, shuffle a bomb into your opponent's deck. When it draws, it explodes for 5 damage. Keep in mind though, when they draw the bomb guys, they take 5, but they don't lose out on their draw. For as far as I know, all the other sort of bomb mechanics, like the bomb, they draw it, they take 5, and then they get their normal draw. Very similar to like the spiders in the 4 mana 4/4 rogue card, the Anubir spider. So if it takes up their draw too, that's insane, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. All right, so moving to neutrals, the Archmage Vargoth, 4 mana 2/6. At the end of your turn, cast a spell you've cast this turn. So potentially very powerful. I mean, I'm looking at cards like Nourish, You know what I mean? You turn 7, you play this and nourish, and then you basically went from 7 to 9. You have 10 mana next turn. It doesn't have to be Druid. I mean, you could use it for draw mechanics. Ideally, you don't want to use it for targetable spells. So maybe like cards like Arcane Missiles, Cinder Storm, stuff that like it always is going to be hurting your opponent. So I can see this in some sort of mage. I mean, this does not seem to be a bad mage spell. All right. Mage card, just because of cards like Cinderstorm, and things of that nature. Not bad. Big bad Archmage. So this is the guy I was talking about earlier with the Shaman card that we had discussed. The let's get the name right, Muck Morpher. So like if we Muck Morpher into the big bad Archmage, you know, at the end of your turn summon a random 6-cost minion. So that's like a really good 5-drop, right? Like a 5-mana 4/4 that summons a 6-drop at the end of the turn. But who's gonna say it's gonna hit the big bad Archmage? So there's a lot of summon a random 6-cost minions. Mage also had something we covered earlier on this as well. It was an 8-mana card and it summoned 2 of them. Stat line wise, it doesn't have taunt. It's not belonging to any particular class like demons or anything like that. 6/6 is very, very weak for a 10-mana card, but basically at the end of the turn, you're getting 2 minions out of the deal. You know, for 10 mana, you basically, let's say this is a 6-mana 6/6, and then it's going to generate a 6 mana card. So you kind of get like 12-ish mana out of the deal if you look at it like that. And if it lives for 2 turns, you definitely get the value out of it, and 3 is just like really good. It's very slow though, you know what I mean? When I look at cards like this, it's just overall a fairly slow card in the sense that like it has to live. And you know, when we're at 10 mana, especially, you know, control based classes, they're gonna have a pretty decent way to deal with this for the most part if they know you're playing another control based class. So we'll have to see if there's any more at the end of the turn effects, if there's something that allows this to be cheated out and or allows this to like trigger twice, then totally super. I can see this working out. But currently with the pool of cards that we have, it may be very niche in some particular decks. The Batterhead, 8 mana, 3/12 rush. After this attacks and kills a minion, it may attack again. So very powerful at clearing off the board. 3 attack is not a ton, but if you're playing like, for example, a Zoo deck, like if this had lifesteal, it'd be like a Reno Jack. This is so sick. But I'm glad it doesn't have lifesteal. But yeah, pretty good card. I mean, for the most part, it's gonna be able to kill. Like if you're playing against like a mid-range or an aggro deck, granted, turn 8 is pretty late in the game, so if they haven't won by now, they better be winning soon, and this is gonna be a card that catches up. So I don't think this is. What would you play? Like, it's hard. It's impossible to say what archetypes are going to be really powerful and what decks are going to be really good, but you can say what these cards are going to be really good against. So if that happens to be popular, then you're going to see this card. So like I said, if like, you know, more aggressive style mid-range decks are around, this guy is not a bad card to be putting in your deck or playing, just because he's going to be able to most of the time clear the board if the deck that you're playing doesn't have good board clear, like Druid. Unseen Saboteur, hopefully I said that right. 6 mana, 5/6 battle cry. Your opponent casts a random spell from their hand. Target's chosen randomly. Wow. We're seeing more and more and more combo disruption, guys. So definitely there is this expansion, there's an attack against combo decks. You know, being able to get your opponent to cast one of their spells out of the way, whether it be, you know, Naturalize is moving to wild, but you know, you have cards like the Holy Wrath and Paladin, and you know, maybe even some AoE spells. I mean, this is, the targets are chosen randomly too. So like, if you're playing against maybe like a Zoo deck, you know, and you play this and they have Soulfire in their hand, they could end up Soulfiring their own minion. This is a very not bad card. I like this card. Good stuff. Here's another card that we're going to cover, the Hecklebot. 4 mana, 3/8, taunt your battle cry. Your opponent summons a minion from their deck. Again, combo disruption. If your opponent's playing maybe a Mechathune type deck, or they're playing like a Malagos type deck where there's not a lot of minions in it, you know, going ahead, playing Hecklebot or Tog, you know, getting the stuff out of their deck. Not bad, you know. Granted, it's not like a guarantee that you're going to be able to pull a combo piece, but there are cards that you can throw in. Like, this isn't just a bad card to play. You know, even against aggro, it's not bad. So, it's good to see stuff like this. Not gonna lie, like I play a good amount of combo decks, but there should be cards like this in the meta that are able, like, very cheap, very just like, you know, I play 2 Hecklebots, my deck isn't bogged down because of it, and you know, I have a nice little hedge against combo decks. I mean, it's not a bad thing at all. 8 mana, 6/6 battle cry. Draw 2 minions from your deck. Set their attack and health and cost to 1. Oh my knee. Oh my god. I don't know if it was because this card got me excited, like a happy way or in a sad way, but my knee just slammed against the top of the desk. Set their attack, health, and cost of 1. Well, nothing's coming. This is a very interesting ability, chat. By chat, it's not really a chat because I'm not streaming. I just say it now. I don't know. This is out of my pay grade. Maybe you guys can inform me. Please do. The Clan Hogsteed. 2 mana, 2/1, rush, death rattle, summon a 1/1 Murloc. You're basically getting a 2 mana, 3/2. But the front end has rush. I mean, aggro deck doesn't look bad. Budget aggro deck, budget zoo. Definitely an arena card. This card just looks bad. 4 mana, 3/2, divine shield. Restore 3 health. Like, eh. They used this. They basically said this was like situational heal. Like, if you want additional healing, you play the traveling healer. I'd rather not. Evil Cable Rat. 2 mana, 1/1. Battle cry, add a Lackey to your hand. Okay. Nothing really. That's just what the card does. And that's it. We are all called up. Wow. All right. This is good stuff. And so we have 73 out of the 135. So we're just over half of all of the cards being released. We still have a sizable amount of neutrals left, along with, I believe, Warrior and Hunter. Yeah, Warrior, we need a couple more cards. Mage looks pretty. It was Hunter, yeah. So Hunter's lacking some cards here. But they should be coming out soon. With that, thank you for watching. Again, love to hear your feedback on the new stuff. And look forward to making another video and seeing you guys, whether in that or on stream, of course. As always, I'm Robert Warshak. And happy whatever the hell day it is.